Welcome to my tutorial 11D. It's the final tutorial in a series of 5. It's titled UFO Invasion Game Part 5. I want to move down to here now where we have this make a ship function. This is what makes those ships up. And if you just remember when we went and worked on that saucer, that ship's movie clip, we took all the tweens out of it, so it's not moving. So we're going to put in some code that'll control the speed of those spaceships. It's going to be something that is related back to this initial ships up here. So every ship will take on its own random speed. They won't fall at the same speed. Initial small I, capital S ships, capital S, period, capital S, speed, S-P-E-D-Y, speedy. That's the variable name for this. It equals, and we're back to this math random thing, capital M for math, small r, period in between them, open and close brackets, multiply by 1, add 2, semicolon. Again, this math random generates a number from 0 to 1. When it generates a 0, multiply that by 1, you get 0. So that gives me 2 pixels. If it's on the other end of the spectrum and it's a full 1, multiply that by 1 will give me 1 plus 2. So this is going to generate that the spaceships will fall at an average of 2 or 3 pixels each time it goes through this loop. All we got to do now is make the reference for this up in there. So we'll go up to that initials ships S. Here it is. Initials ships S function. Insert a line and type in that we want to control the Y speed of this particular ship. So here's this again, meaning the ship we are making at the time, small t, period, underscore y, plus equals, that means incremented by whatever random number Speedy had created. We made a lot of changes, so I'd like to try out what we have. I'm going to select that very first spot there, and on that right in here I'm going to insert a stop. That was for this frame right here, this action script. Put a stop in, and let's test our movie. Here comes our spaceships at random speeds. You may not be able to tell that. And shoot after the sound. Play again works. So now that's a really good game. Really, it was worth all. Let's take the stop out. Take the stop back out. I'm just going to format it there. We're going to back to scene 1. We're going to start working on the action script and on scene 1's. Select the first frame here, the action script line. And in here we want to put a stop. I pick up a stop. There it is. If you haven't yet a layer called buttons, you may have taken it out, but that's the line we want. Unlock the buttons layer, select that first frame, and we're going to come over here and we're going to create a button, and I want to use the saucer. So I'm going to grab my saucer, drag it in here. While I have it selected like that, I'm going to come up here, modify. I'm going to convert this to a symbol. I'm going to call it a button, and start. S-T-A-R-T, start, underscore B-T-N, button. Because I'm writing script on it, I want to copy this name and give it an instance name, start underscore button. Select the actions layer again, open the panel, there's our stop, paste in this code for the button. There's my start button, capital S, underscore button, period, on release, equals a function, and in this case the function is go to and stop. And you see how we have this word start in quotation marks? That's the name of this frame right here, the start frame. So that's pretty handy in case you have to move frames. Well, you're always going to keep the name with it as you're moving it around. Right above this buttons layer, click on the buttons layer, insert a layer, call it rules. R-U-L-E-S for now, call it rules. Lock that buttons layer, so the only thing that's unlocked is this rules layer. Insert a blank keyframe on frame 2, insert a blank keyframe. Select the buttons layer, go down to 25% and just grab this button and pull it off to the side here for now. Select frame 1 of this rules layer, and down here on you're going to pick up your text tool and you're going to type in this in red. It's the rules of the game, and it also tells me to click on this saucer when I'm ready to start the game. Lock that rules layer. Now I want you to open the Win movie clip, and where the text is, and I think that's on this layer right here called Win, unlock this layer, select this text, select it all, make it red. For now, we'll see how that looks. Unlock that again. Go open your lose movie clip on frame 2, the lose layer, select all this, make this red. Select frame 3, select all that text, make it red. Go back to scene 1, and down here, selection tool, click off to the side, background, pick up black. Come down to here where we have the laser and the beam, and just above the beam, click on the beam, insert, and call it building. That's a building layer. Make sure all the layers are locked except the building layer. Put a blank keyframe in frame 2, blank keyframe, and down here on the bottom you can draw some buildings using this straight line tool. I'll just do a very quick one. You want to use a white stroke and just straight line draw buildings as fancy as you want. These are my buildings that I'm going to use for my game, just so that it looks a little bit like some kind of a city. We're going to lock that buildings layer, and we're going to open up our laser movie clip, and this laser we're going to replace. So double click on it. It's just a shape with it all highlighted. Delete it, and now we're going to make that laser. It's on 100%, and I'm going to start with my line tool. You have to have some color other than black, something you can see, and I'm going to draw a straight line that is approximately the same size as that laser that I just had, and I'm going to draw a line here and a line roughly here. Lock that layer and call it lines. Open a new layer, call it center. This is the center of my layer. I'm going to start off by getting my oval tool. I want to have a black stroke and a crazy color is here, and I'm going to hold my shift down and make a ball. There it is. Now open up your colors panel under the windows, the color mixer right there. There's mine there. Go back with the highlight with the selection tool. Select that circle. Over here, radial, and we're going to double click on this black swatch. Go over here and pick up that purple color I wanted, and I want them switched around. I want the light to be in the center of it, somewhat like that. This is the tool we haven't used, this gradient tool. Pick this up, make it slightly bigger, make it bigger so we can see it. And if I take this one here and move it, I can make that center part bigger or smaller. I can use this one here to make it not a circle. And the one I want is this one. I can move it, and it moves where my ring is. I can also do some footwork here if I have it selected, and move this down to make the circle smaller. So there's what I'm going to use for my laser for one of my balls. Let's go back to 100%. I'm going to select it all, my selection tool. I'm going to copy it, paste it in place, and put it right here. That'll be the largest one of my lasers. I'm going to go over here, copy it, this one, paste it in place, and just tab it up. Right? I don't care if they're touching or not. And I'm going to copy this one. Well, actually, I just do a paste in place, tab it up, pick up your free transform tool, hold your, get till you see the right angle there, and make it smaller. Select it, just tab it down and tab it over, and make this as fancy as you want. I'm just giving you some ideas like that. That's my laser. I'm going to delete this lines here, and there's my laser. Select it all, go up here to modify it, convert it to a shape, just to a graphic. Laser modified, M. Now we can send it at the stage. Go back to scene 1. There's our new laser right there. So scroll down here and make sure the beam is under the laser. And let's just check that again. Yeah. I want to make the saucers a little bit smaller. So open the ship's movie clip. Go down to this frame here. Click on that saucer. And down here you see these sizes here. Make sure this lock is on. Let's turn that 40 into a 30. And because I have the lock on, it'll keep its ratio. There. Do the same here. Change that to 30. Same on this frame here. 30. Same on this frame and this frame. Last test. It's a very long tutorial. Yeah, they're much smaller. You only shoot one bullet. You can't shoot two. They'll stop the other one from shooting. We're back on scene one. We're basically finished the game. I would just like to show you how to change the number of ships. You probably can do it, but just in case, I'm going to, above this right here, I'm going to put some information here about this line. Put 2 slashes, slash slash, ships hit, and just equals the number of saucers. That probably sounds obvious. So this one, so to show us, let's just take this and make this a 7. Copy this line, copy it, and paste it above wherever your limit count is. And say limit, LIMCNT, equals the number of saucers. So let's do that. Make this a 7. Just to prove this is going to work. That's the only variables. This next now is the test. So come down here into the functions where it's testing for 4. Insert that line that we just copied. Paste it. And write ships many test has to be 1 greater than the number of saucers. 1 greater than the number of saucers. So we're going for 7 saucers, so this will have to be an 8. Okay. And there's 2 more spots, so close this action for a minute. Go to your libraries panel, open up the lose movie clip, and on the final frame of the movie clip where we have the buttons, unlock the buttons layer and select this button that allows us to play again, and go in here and change these 3. So above here, paste, ships hit must equal the number of saucers. In our case, we're going for 7 saucers. And let's put it right here. Paste that line again, saying the limit count, that's this limit count here, must equal the number of saucers. So let's make that a 7. And we got to do the same thing on the wind. Make sure you copy this before we leave here. Copy it. Close this action script. Open up the wind. Go to the buttons layer. Second frame. Select the button. Right here, because I think I copied the limit count. Paste. The limit, this must equal the number of saucers, 7. And right here, paste it. The ship's hit must equal the number of saucers. And that would be 7. last test, I hope. There's going to be 7 of them now. They're still a bit big, but and they're moving a little bit slow. You might want to make them faster. You might want to make a lot more. Now let's let them all hit. Let's just take a 1 or 2 out. 1, 2, and if this allows us to start the game up. This tutorial is finished. It was a long one. I hope you've learned something from this tutorial. I hope you use it.